Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Secundus. Caput vicesimum primum. Chapter 21, Exercise E, Parsing English to Latin. When we parse English to Latin, it's going to be kind of backwards from how we did Latin to English. But we are going to start at the left with the first word and then move towards the right, parsing or giving each part, dissecting each word as we encounter them. Here's where it's backwards. When we get to an English noun, we're going to have to start with the reason, because most of English's syntax, its sense and meaning, is derived from the noun's placement in the sentence, i.e. like where it shows up word order wise. So that's going to be the noun's reason. We'll also get the number, either singular or plural, and then from the noun's reason we derive the case. In Latin, those things that end in tive. And then once we have the equivalent Latin dictionary entry of the English noun, then it's just a simple matter of declining. When we parse a verb, we're going to give the person, the number, the tense, the voice, it can also be passive, the mood, and then once we figure out the dictionary entry, the verb's principal parts, well, then it's just a simple matter of conjugating. And we got it. Let's start. Sententia prima, the first sentence. He also told the ambassador about the great hope of our citizens for peace. Okay, so probably best to start with the verb, the action word. So that's going to be told. We only have one verbal in this whole sentence, the main verb told. From there, we can derive the subject. The subject is the thing that does the action of the verb. So ask yourself, who did the verb? Who told? Well, he did. So he is the subject. Note also, there's this conjunction here, also. Also, as a conjunction, we can use et, etiam. There's also quoque. Quoque typically is postpositive. It follows the emphatic word, so you probably have to put a he in there, like an is. Maybe a hic or ile or iste. Probably not iste. Guess you could also put it after the neurawit. All right, so that brings us to the third singular perfect active indicative, to tell. I want to tell, I told, I have told. So that's the perfect tense. He did it, third person singular. It's active voice, indicative mood of the Latin verb narro, narrare, narravi, narratus. Okay, so once you find the stem, which is narrav, perfect stem, add the it, narravit. So altogether we have something like et narravit, or etiam narravit, or narravit quoque, or something. Okay, so what did he tell? What did he tell? Well, he didn't tell the ambassador. That's not the thing he told. He told something to the ambassador. So the ambassador is not the direct object. The ambassador is the indirect object. The thing that he told is the direct object. Because you can tell a story to someone, or you can tell to someone about something, and that's what we have here. So this about's not going to be the direct object. It is sort of the object of the verb, but this is going to be the preposition de plus the ablative, and it goes from there. Okay, so we got the ambassador right here. Let's not skip over him. That's going to be the indirect object, as said, which is the dative case. How many ambassadors are there? Well, there's only the one this time, so that's singular. It's not ambassadors, it's ambassador, which is legatus e masculine. So we just want the dative singular of legatus e masculine, and you know how to decline, right? That's a second declension masculine. Us e o o, e orem is o cis, legatus, legati, legato. There it is. Legato. Isn't that the villain from Trigun? Oh man, I just aged myself. All right, so about. It's going to be whoop, about, de, plus the ablative. Cool, remember de can also mean down from. And that's kind of, where we get the about or concerning. So altogether, what do we got? We got like et, narravit, legato, de. All right, great. Great is an adjective. which means it modifies a noun, unless it is dressed up in noun clothes and it's acting like a noun as a substantive. We call those substantive adjectives. We don't really have that here because, look, great modifies hope. It's great hope. So great is going to be magnus a and it's going to have the same gender numbering case as hope. So let's jump over to hope. We said that hope, well, it's the object of this preposition day, which always and only takes the ablative. So hope, that's got to be ablative with day. How many hopes? Well, it isn't hopes, it's hope. So that's just the one today. Singular, hope, it's one of your vocab words for this chapter. Space, a, feminine. Okay, so the endings are, because it's fifth declension feminine. Ace, a. Eis erum ebus, eis ebus. So space, spam, spe. There it is. Spe, sperum, spebus, spe, spebus. So spe. De, spe. All right, so cool. We got that adjective there, though. So we got ablative, singular, and feminine. If the noun's ablative, singular, feminine, any adjective that modifies it must also be Shazam, ablative, singular, and feminine. It's a first and second declension adjective, so second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter. So we want feminine, first declension feminine, with the macron over it, aurum, is, as, is. So magna, with the macron over this final A. De spe magna, something like that. Great hope of what? What are we hoping for? Actually, we're hoping for peace, but the hope belongs to our citizens. Our citizens' great hope for peace. Our is an adjective. It is our belonging to us. Noster, nostra, nostrum. And as a modifying possessive adjective, it's going to have the same gender numbering case as citizens. So citizens of the citizens, that's a noun. They are possessing or owning the hope. The hope belongs to them. So possession, that's shown by the genitive. Kind of ruined it there. Citizens, plural, more than one, and that's kiwis, common, masculine or feminine. Sorry, it is probably going to just be masculine for the sexism. Genitive, plural, you could put feminine, but probably is going to more commonly be masculine. Genitive plural masculine to agree with. Remember, this is a heteroclite. That only applies in the genitive. I'm sorry, not a heteroclite. That's a I stem. That means that it only alters its ending in the genitive plural. Oh shucks, that's just what we have here, the genitive plural. So it's kiwium. So kiwis, kiwi, kiwin, kiwe. Kiwis, kiwium. Kiwibus, kiwis, kiwibus. And then of our, genitive plural, so nostrorum. Nostrorum. Kiwium nostrorum. Okay, what are we hoping for? It's a hope for something. This is going to be the object of the hope. Peace is the object of the hope. That's the thing we're going towards. So that object's not the direct object. Direct objects, that's the objects of verbs, and peace is not the object of told. Peace is the object of the hope for this. So that's the objective genitive. Genitive case. Only one piece this time, so that's singular, it's not the pieces. And the Latin word for peace is pax, pacus, feminine. Third declension feminine. Pax, pacus, paci, pacem, pace. Paces, pacum. Pacibus, paces, pacibus. So we'll probably end up putting that at the end. So let's put it all together. Something to the effect of et legato narravit de civium nostrorum spe magna pacis. Remember, just like in math class, once you solve the equation, you got an answer, plug and chug it back into the original and see if it works. So retranslate, like translate the Latin answer that you got and see if you get this English. Et legato, and to the lieutenant narravit, he, she, it told. So he told and he told to the lieutenant, De civium nostrorum, something about our citizens' great hope of peace, about the hope of our citizens, great hope of our citizens for peace. Yeah, cool. That is equivalent to that. Optime, fantastic. Sententia secunda, sentence number 2. The days in my country are short in winter and long lasting in summer. Okay, so the days in my country are short in winter and long lasting in summer. Okay, so the verb is are. Ask yourself, what are short and long lasting? The days. Days are the subject. So days, if it's the subject, it's going to be in the nominative case. How many days? More than one, plural. So nominative plural, Latin word for day is dies ei, masculine, can sometimes be feminine, particularly if it's talked about as a particular date. Like usually if the word day can also be translated as date, like, pick a date on a calendar. That's usually shows up as feminine. Here, we don't really have a particular date in mind. It's just general days. So we're going to stick with the masculine this time. Sorry if you were hoping for that. So dies is going to be the nominative masculine plural. The ending doesn't change depending on the gender in this case, in this declension. So the days in my country, in takes either the accusative to indicate motion where it's into or onto, and that's not what we have here. In plus the ablative indicates location, translate either in or on, and these are the days in. So located in, we're going to use the ablative here. So in plus the ablative, we want my country to be in the ablative case. So my is the modifying possessive adjective, and it's modifying country. So my, meos a is going to have the same gender numbering case as country. So we'll jump to country. Country, as we said, is going to be ablative because of the preposition de. Singular country, and the Latin word for country is patria, I, feminine. So ablative singular feminine, that makes meos a That also has to be ablative singular feminine. So because it's a first and second declension adjective, we'll use mea, which has first declension endings. So mea with the macron over the a, and then country, patria, also macron over the a. So dies in mea patria, or dies in patria mea, they are. Okay, so the days are. Remember, the subject is days. That means that it needs to be a third person plural. They are right now currently, so present tense, and active voice and indicative mood. So of the verb to be, sum esse fubi futurus, one of the 7 irregular verbs, 7-ish irregular verbs in Latin. So you just got to know how that one works. Present tense, sum es est, sumus estus sunt. So we want the sunt form. So dies sunt, the days are. Dies in patria mea sunt. Okay, remember that sunt, forms of sum act like either existential, showing existence, or they are linking verbs, linking a subject, hey, days, with a predicate. So what is the predicate, excuse me, of the subject dies? Why, that would be short and long. So the days are short, they're also long. We have a compound predicate here. So these are going to be predicate nominatives, short and long. Remember, predicate nominatives can be either nouns or they can be adjectives. Just they have to be in the nominative case. So short and long lasting, those are adjectives which describe days. Okay, so short, that's going to be brevis breve. It has to be the same gender numbering case as days. So we know it's going to be nominative because it's a predicate nominative, but it also has to be plural masculine because you wrote that down in the box for days, right? So short, breves, breve, plural masculine. The answer is going to be breves, breves. Okay, when are they short? Well, in winter. So this is going to be an ablative of place where, right? Because we're located in the, wait a minute, located in the winter? That doesn't really make much sense. It's not really a place, except maybe on a timeline. Yes, it's more like a when. So this is ablative of time when. We're going to, we don't have a preposition here. No need to put a preposition at all. In fact, it'd be kind of weird to put the preposition. Instead, go ahead and just put the noun winter in the ablative case. So winter is hiems, hiemis, feminine, just the one winter. You could also exchange it with winter, winter time. So hiems, hiemis, hiemi, hiemem, hieme. There it is. Hiemes, hiemum, hiemibus, hiemes, hiemibus. So hieme. We don't need the preposition. So breves hieme, short at the winter time. And, okay, so we have a conjunction here. We are linking two units. We are linking short and we are linking long. Thing X linked with thing Y. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Doing that thing. So et, postpositive enclitic que, or ac atque. Aquae in front of vowels, ac in front of consonants. I think we just got an et here. If you want to use a que, that's fine, but I wouldn't use ac atque here. Et just seems fine. It's kind of just general. Que could work too. So et, short in winter. So breves, hieme, et, long lasting. Long lasting, make sure to put that in parentheses because most students are going to see long right here. They're long in summer and just go with, oh, that's easy. It's longus aum. It's the, it's right there. Why not reach for that one? Because, it's there. You can see it. It's obvious. We're not talking about long distance wise. We're talking about long time wise, which is a different word. Diuturnus. Diuturnus. It's a first and second declension adjective, diuturnus aum, will have the same gender, number, and case as the thing it modifies. It modifies the days, which, as of course you wrote down, nominative plural masculine, so this has got to be plural masculine, and also it is nominative because it's predicate nominative. In summer, just like in winter, this is a time when. So we just want the ablative of aistas, aistatis, feminine, just the one summer, so aistate. Et diuterni aistate. All right, optime. So let's put it all together. I just feel like I want to put the predicate first because it's it's longer, and then put the shorter subject and in the back. So how about we have breves hieme et diuterni aistate sunt dies in patria mea. I rather like that. You can flip it around too and do the dies in mea patria, or in mea patria dies sunt breves hieme et diuterni aistate. Optime. Sententia tertia. The 10th Legion had been attacked by a band of German foot soldiers who were running alongside knights. Foot soldiers running alongside knights? That's ridiculous. How could they keep up with the horses? Well, read Caesar, Book 1, the Gallic Wars. All right, so the 10th Legion had been attacked. All right, so had been attacked by a band of foot soldiers who were running alongside knights. We have two verbals here altogether. So had been attacked and were running. So were running, why, that looks like it's inside a relative clause. So it's a subordinate verbal. This is going to be the main verb right here, had been attacked. Had been attacked, what had been attacked? What's the subject? Why, the 10th Legion. So 10th is going to be a modifying adjective, modifying the subject. 10th is decimus aum, first and second declension adjective. It will have the same gender, number, and case as the subject here, legion. It's the subject, it's going to be in the nominative. It's just the one legion today, not legions. And that is legio, legionis feminine. So we want the legio, that's the nominative, it's right there. Legio, and then nominative singular feminine for decimus aum, so decima. Legio decima. Legio decima had been attacked. Oh, they didn't do the attacking, it happens to them. So Legion is third person singular. It's a she. Legions are feminine. Third person singular. So make sure you note that it is feminine, because this is also perfect past. I'm sorry, pluperfect. Had been. Had been is the helping verb. One of the helping verbs. So had been. That's pluperfect passive. Because that's a periphrastic form, it's going to needs to have a feminine ending to reflect that. It goes with legion. Attacked is apugno, apugnare, apugnavi, apugnatus. An easy peasy first conjugation verb. So pluperfect passive, I said, yes indeed. That's the fourth principal part, apugnatus. Treat it like an adjective, apugnatus aon, because it is an adjective, it's a participle. Give it the same gender number in case as the thing it modifies, which is legion, so nominative singular feminine. Why? Apugnata. So apugnata. And then it needs a helping verb to tell us what the tense is, because just apugnata by itself would be something else. You got to have the had been. That's going to be the imperfect tense of sum, which is eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratis, erant. And that has to also reflect the subject, which is third person singular, so erat. Opugnata erat. Remember, also, you can flip them, so erat apugnata. That's fine too. Legio decima erat apugnata. So the 10th Legion had been attacked. By what? By a band of German foot soldiers. We just happen to be running alongside that. By what? By a band. Okay, so ablative of personal agent, because a band of German foot soldiers, that's a thing. That's people. It's persons. So we need to have the preposition. The preposition used with personal agent is ab. In front of consonants, ab, put the B in front of vowels. Band, why a handful of German foot soldiers, just the handful. Glad it's not more. Hand, band, that's your vocab word here. Manus us feminine. It's a fourth declension, which those are mostly masculine, but this is the main fourth declension one. Has the same endings as the masculine. Us, ui, u. Us, ibus, ibus. So by a band, we want the ablative, singular feminine, manu. Manu. A band of what? Of German foot soldiers. A handful of German foot soldiers. So this is going to be genitive, kind of as a partitive idea. German agrees with foot soldiers being the compound noun here. So foot soldiers is going to be pedes, peditus, masculine, and German is Germanus aum. They'll have the same gender number in case, which will be the genitive. Genitive, plural, and masculine. So Germanorum peditum, or peditum Germanorum. A manu peditum Germanorum. Or you could even say a Germanum peditum manu. Who, all right, so the foot soldiers who, we want to make sure we have the antecedent for this relative pronoun, has an antecedent. All pronouns have antecedents, but it must agree with its antecedents in gender and number, but not necessarily in case. The case it gets from how it acts inside its own clause, which is who were running alongside knights. That's what they were doing. Who is the relative pronoun qui, quae, quod. Antecedent is foot soldiers. Foot soldiers was genitive plural masculine, still is. Who is going to be plural masculine and who is nominative? So qui. Were running. Who was running? Well, the who were. Who are they? The foot soldiers. So they, third person plural, were running. Imperfect tense, active voice, indicative mood of curro, currere, curri, cursus. Currebant. The stem is it's a third conjugation. The stem is cur. Take the O off the first principal part. Add an E before the ba. Curreba, and then ant. Currebant. Because it's third person plural. Alongside knights. Okay, so alongside, next to, near to, nearby. That is the preposition prope. plus the accusative case. So knights is going to be in the accusative, Latin word for knight, eques, equitus, masculine. There's more than one this time, so plural. And we said accusative because of the preposition prope, so prope equites. So the relative clause altogether is qui prope equites currebant. You got to fit that into the sentence. I probably put it right after the antecedent, the foot soldiers. So keep that stuff together. Legio decima manu manu. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Manu Germanorum peditum. Let's just keep it that way. So legio decima manu Germanorum peditum qui prope equites currebant est pugnata. It's also advisable to break up the verbs like that so they don't jam up at the ends together like that. The three verb pileup I was told to avoid. However, I've seen even Cicero use the three verb pileup where there are three verbs in a row. Anselm uses them quite a bit in Cur Deus Homo, but whatever. You can fit it in the word order you like. Just make sure that, it's correct. Sententia quarta. Fourth sentence. Did you flee because of your fear of us? Is that why you ran away? Okay, did you flee because of your fear of us? Got a question mark. We're asking a question here, yes or no. It can be answered by yes or no. So did you flee because of your fear of us? Yes, I did. Or no, of course not. That means we're going to start off this sentence with the postpositive particle enclitic ne. Whatever the first word we make, we're going to add the ne to it, ne, to indicate that we got a yes or no here. Did you flee? Okay, so the verb is flee. You did flee. So you is the subject, second person singular. Flee is fugio, fugere, fugi, make run over the u, fugitus, to flee. Flee can take either an accusative direct object, or it can take an ablative of separation. You can flee something or flee from something. Here it's because of or due to something. So that's just going to be it's going to just take the preposition either propter or ob, which takes the accusative. Okay, so did you flee is second person singular, perfect active indicative. The stem is fug, third principal part, chop off the I, fug, fu with the make run over, it's careful now. G, and then E, isti it, there, it was isti. Imus istis eron, fugisti. When we have yes or no questions and we have the ne, I do like to put verbs as the first word in those because the ne's just seem to attach nicely to the end of verbs. You can attach them to the end of the operatic or word you think is the most important here, but the rest of it is kind of built into this preposition because here. So that'd be like albne or propterne, and that would be kind of weird. I don't know. Fugistine works well. Fugistine? Did you run away? Did you flee? Did you escape? No, I didn't. Oh, weird. I'm sorry. Because of, as I said, that is ob, or propter, which takes the accusative. Because of what? Because of your fear of us. Okay, because of, on account of your fear. Your is modifying possessive adjective. It is modifying fear. Your, let's see, we said here this is second person singular. Could it be second person plural? Yes, it could. And then that, if you wanted to make the second person plural, you could. Fugistisne would then be your form. And then that would be wester, westra, westrum. If you said singular here, then this is going to be tuus aum. I meant it to be tuus aum, but we are getting to that point in your Latin training where you're going to encounter both, and texts aren't going to be as clear-cut as I have been. So start training yourself to see a little bit more ambiguity in things. or at least pick up on the ambiguity. Tuos aum, modifying fear. Timor, timoris, which is masculine. That's going to be the accusative. So is that. Both are singular and both are masculine. So tuum timorem, or timorem tuum. I like timorem tuum. And it's your fear of us. Ah, yes, we are owning or possessing your. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Oh, wait, this isn't a genitive of possession. Duh, of course, that's an objective genitive. Because what's the object of the fear? That'd be us. You're scared of us, right? I mean, you're not scared. Who owns the fear here? You do. You own the fear. What's the fear directed towards? Us. So that's going to be an objective genitive. Hopefully you remember the forms of us, which is we, nos, nosri, nosrum. That's a genitive. Nosri is the objective genitive. That's the one we want. Nostrum is the partitive genitive, and then for to lols, nobis, nos, nobis is the rest of the form. So we want nosri. And that's the end of it. So, fugistine propter timorem tuum nostri? Ottime. Sententia quinta. Which of ye led the army out of the camp many miles into the plains? Oh, who's in trouble? Which of ye? Who of ye? Who out of ye led the army? Oh no, someone's in trouble. Led the army. Okay. We have one verbal here, and that is led. Okay, so to lead. Who did the leading? Actually, we don't know, and that's what we're trying to figure out. But we do know, grammar-wise, that it is the who, which I have here is which. So who of ye? Who? We are asking a question. Which one? So this is going to be interrogative, but is this the pronoun or the adjective? Wow, that must be, it's not complicated at all. It's the pronoun. We want the pronoun here, the interrogative pronoun. The interrogative pronoun is quis, quid. The interrogative adjective looks exactly like the relative pronoun, so remind yourself of that. Quis quid is the interrogative pronoun, with quis being the masculine and feminine, and quid being the neuter. It's who of ye, so we want quis. Who? Quis. I don't know. Of ye, out of ye. Remember, the reasons for the genitive at this point are possession, objective, which we've seen a couple times, and partitive, which we've also seen a couple times. And here it's partitive. It's which one out of ye. There's a big group out of y'all, and we want to know which one out of ye did the leading. Remember those forms. Wos, wesri is the objective genitive form. Wesrum is the partitive genitive form. That's the one we want. And then for to lols, wobis, wos, wobis. So westrum. Quis westrum? Who out of ye? Quis vestrum? Did this thing, to lead, that is duco, ducere, duxi, ductus. We want the third person singular. Could it be plural? Yeah, it could. Let's keep it singular. Could be plural. Third person singular. Perfect, active, indicative. Perfect, so we want the perfect stem, which is dux. Third principal part, chop off the I, and then add e isti it. There it is. Emos istis add-on. So duxit. Note that it is lead the accusative direct object out of. So it could be educo. To add further emphasis, add the preposition ex as a prefix to the verb, and you get educo, educere, eduxi, eductus, to add a little bit more oomph to your action right here. So you could say eduxit. Now, do you then need to add the preposition when we get to it? No, but you should, because that is something that the Romans did like to do. All right, so the army is the thing that got led out. So the subject is the who did the verb to the army, direct object. Direct object is in the accusative case. How many armies? That's only the one this time, so singular. Accusative singular of exercitus us masculine, a fourth declension masculine, so exercitum. Exercitum. Quis vestrum exercitum eduxit out of, that's going to be ax. Which takes the ablative of separation. Camp, remember camp is casra orum, always neuter, always plural. X plus takes the ablative separation, so we want the ablative of casra. Remember, it only has 5 forms. Casra, casrorum, casris, casra, casris. We want casris. Casris. Casris eduxit. You could just say casris duxit if you wanted, or you could just say casris eduxit. That's the least common one. The most common one is going to be probably casris eduxit. You give that, they like that emphasis there. Quis vestrum exercitum casris eduxit. Casris exercitum eduxit. You know, I really like that actually. Quis vestrum casris exercitum eduxit. Nice. We're going to keep that. All right, many miles into the plains. Okay, that's the distance we're traveling. We are traveling, that's how far the army was led, right? Many miles, distance traveled. Extent of space, which is indicated by the accusative case. So many miles should be in the accusative case. Many is an adjective modifying miles. Okay, many is multisaum. That should be easy. It's a first and second declension adjective. Just got to modify miles, right? All right, so what's the Latin word for miles? Okay, there's where we get a little bit. Halt a little bit. We got to stop. Pump on the brakes. Okay, miles. Well, a mile in Latin is 1,000 paces, which is indicated by the phrase mille passus. Mille passus. So it's passus, which is pace or step, and then there's 1,000 of them. So mille, 1,000, a single thousand. If you will recall that a single thousand is mille, an indeclinable adjective. So it's an adjective which is just modifying the noun passus. So passus declines normally. It'll be in the plural because they're 1,000 paces, and then mille is indeclinable. That's always going to be mille. Now, if you have more than 1,000, if you have 2,000, 2,000s, 3,000, 3,000s, 4,000s, or just 4,000 and up, you can't use the indeclinable adjective mille anymore. You have to go to the noun form, which is millia, millium, always neuter, always plural. Its forms are millia, millium, millibus, millia, millibus. Don't confuse with miles militus. So that needs to decline, that millia word. And then if it's many miles or many of something, you usually, okay, anyway, millia, it's many thousands. It'll take a partitive genitive. Many thousands of what? Of paces. Many thousands of paces. So we want a partitive genitive of passus. Genitive plural is going to be passuum. Passuum. So if you want to say 1 mile in Latin, that's mille passus. If you want to say 2 miles, that's duo millia passuum. And then the duo millia can decline. The passuum is always going to be, it always needs to be a partitive genitive because it has to go with the millia. But then you can get duorum milium passuum, duobus milibus passuum, duo milia passuum, duobus milibus passuum. So passuum, always the partitive genitive needs to stay the same. Here we said we wanted the accusative, extent of space. So milia, always neuter, always plural. It's just milia again, it neuter. That makes this accusative plural neuter. So multa, multa, milia, and then passuum is always got to be passuum, partitive genitive, many thousands of paces. So multa milia passuum. Quis vestrum ecastris exercitum eduxit multa milia passum. Into the plains. That's whither we are going. To where? Into. It's not just in, it's into, but that is the Latin word in. We are taking the accusative because it's motion into. Add that to there. Into the plains, so in plus the accusative motion towards plains is campus e masculine. We said we wanted the accusative. There's the more than one plane this time, so plains and masculine. So campos, in campos. All together. Quis vestrum ecastris exercitum eduxit multa milia passuum in campos. Man, that person's in trouble. Sententia sexta, the sixth sentence. Out of which harbor were the ships sailing yesterday? Out of which harbor were the ships sailing yesterday? So, we do have out of which were the ships sailing. The verb is were sailing. Ask yourself, what was sailing? Why, the ships were sailing. Okay, so that's going to be the subject. We are asking a question, so it's an interrogative. Out of which harbor? So the nominative subject ships were sailing out of some harbor yesterday. Out of is going to be the preposition ax, which takes the ablative separation of which harbor. So this is the interrogative part. We're asking which harbor. So it's not going to be an interrogative pronoun like it was in the previous sentence 5, who out of you, but this is going to be the interrogative adjective. The interrogative adjective, which I said looks exactly like the relative pronoun. So which harbor? That's going to modify harbor, which has to be in the ablative separation. Portus us masculine, fourth declension masculine. We want the ablative, so portu. If that's ablative singular masculine, this qui quod interrogative adjective must be ablative singular masculine, so quo. Quo portu. Add the preposition. Equo portu. Out of which harbor? Equo portu. Were the ships sailing yesterday? Okay, so we've got were sailing. That's navigo, navigare, navigavi, navigatus, and the ships were, third person plural, imperfect, and they were doing it active indicative. So the stem is naviga, add the imperfect ba, and then the unt to tell us that it's they were doing it. Navigabant, 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 and then the ships. That is navis, navis feminine, nominative plural feminine because it's the subject. So naves. Remember that is an I stem, but that doesn't really matter here. Its genitive plural is navium. But its nominative is what we want, naves. Yesterday, my trouble seems so far away yesterday. That is an adverb. Yesterday is an adverb because it goes with time, goes with the verb, tells us when were the ships sailing. That's the adverb heri. H-E-R-I, heri. And we'll kind of keep that close-ish to the verb. Okay, actually, we're going to keep pretty much the same word order. Equo portu navigabant naves heri. Or heri navigabant naves. Actually, I kind of like that. Equo portu heri navigabant naves. Yeah. Working out. Sententia septima. The seventh sentence. At the arrival of the general, the Senate remained in the city. So at the arrival of the general, the Senate remained in the city. So at the arrival. This is kind of, you could call this means, but I think it's actually closer to an ablative of time when, like when the general arrived. This is kind of a stand-in for ubi pervenit imperator, something like that. Ubi advenit imperator, because arrival is adventus us masculine, fourth declension masculine. We're just going to put it in the ablative of time when. So adventu, adventu. Of the general, that's going to be a genitive of possession because, hey, it's his arrival. He owns it. It's probably in reference to Caesar. Caesar will forever be arriving places. The Senate better remain in the city. Don't go out and meet him. It's a trap. Imperator, imperatoris, masculine. We want the genitive imperatoris. So adventu imperatoris. The senates remained in the cities, and the main verb is remained. Who remained? Why? The senate did. It's singular, third person singular, perfect active indicative. Senate as the subject is going to be the nominative case, singular masculine, senatus os masculine. So senatus and then remained maneo, manere, mansi, mansus. Stem is mons. Third principal part, mansi, chop off the I, get mons, and then add the it. Isti it. Imus istis erunt. Mansit. Senatus mansit. Mansit senatus. And where they remain? In the city. Mansit in plus the ablative showing location. The ablative of urbs, urbis, feminine, singular is urbe. In urbe. Mansit in urbe senatus. Adventu imperatoris, mansit in urbe senatus. Something like that. You could also senatus mansit in urbe. Senatus in urbe mansit. Kind of like keeping the Senate far away from the general, because I think that's what they're intending. Adventu imperatoris, mansit in urbe senatus. Sententia octava, the 8th sentence. Because they had no food, the soldiers broke camp late at night. Because they had no food, on account of them having no food. Okay, so we have here two clauses here. Because they had no food, the soldiers broke camp late at night. The main clause is the soldiers broke camp late at night. Well, why did they do that? Oh, because they had no food. Because they had no food is the subordinate clause. Inside the main clause, they broke camp. Broke is the main verb. Who did that? The soldiers did. Okay, so they're going to be the nominative subject. Inside the subordinate clause, because they had no food, this is going to be a causal clause because it's showing cause. Why? Why did they do that? Because. If it were just because of a lack of food, the soldiers did a thing. If it were because of a noun, we'd use alber propter, prepositions plus the accusative. But here we have a verb, because they had no food. So this is an actual clause. It's got a subject, it's got a verb. It's not the main subject, it's not the main verb. It's connected to the main subject. It's talking about the same people. But this is the main subject, this is the main verb. This is the subordinate clause. This clause can go away. We can't get rid of this clause. This is the clause keeping everything in existence. Break this guy off, it's fine. Break this guy off, and this guy can't exist on his own. Because they had no food. Had is our verb. They had, third person plural. It's referring to the soldiers. They had no food. This is like they were having no food. So I would use the imperfect here. You could use the perfect, but I would use the imperfect here. Active indicative of habeo, habere, habui, habitus. Stem is habe, add the ba, and then unt, habebant. If you wanted the perfect, it would be habuerunt. But yeah, you should probably use the imperfect here, habebant. Because is quod. Got to use that quod. It's that causal clause conjunction, subordinating conjunction. Quod habebant. Because they had what? They had no food. Pretty much because they did not have food. Let's go ahead and say that, because they did not have food. That would be quod non habebant, and then food is the direct object. Quibus e masculine. We want the accusative, just an easy second declension masculine. So quibum. Quod non quibum habebant. If you wanted to say no food, that would be nullum quibum habebant. You could also use a dative of possession here. You'd have to flip it around to say, because there was no food to them. So it would be quod eis or eis, that's the to them, that's the dative of possession. And then the food becomes the subject, the nullus quibus, or you could just say known. And then the verb would be erant. So quod eis non erant quibus, because there was no food for them, because they had no food. Or quod eis nullus quibus erat. Alrighty, probably easier to go with the quod non habebant quibum. The soldiers broke camp late at night. You can also put the soldiers first, so milites quod. Miles militis, masculine, soldiers. It's the subject, as we said, so nominative, plural. Milites, milites. They broke camp. They picked up sticks and they broke it, or someone was carrying it and then dropped it. No. To break camp is to move it. Slight idiom there. So moveo, movere, movi, motus, with camp being the direct object. So they broke it. So that's the perfect tense. We want the perfect stem mob. Movi, chop off the I, mob. And then est it, emos istus, erunt, moverunt, because the subject of the third person plural soldiers. Moverunt. And then the direct object, accusative, castra. Castra. Moverunt castra. They did that late at night. Late at night, slight idiom, that's at much night. It's a lot of night there. Yeah, it's pretty late. So much night, multus aum agrees with nox noctus. Both need to be, we're at time when, so ablative, and it's just the one night, so singular and feminine. So multa nocte, multa nocte. So I would say something like multa nocte milites quod non quibum habebant castra moverunt. Optime. Sententia nona, the ninth sentence. The accomplishments of this person right here are both many and great. Both many and great are the accomplishments of this person who is right here. The verb is are. We have another linking verb. We're linking a subject, which are the accomplishments, to the predicates, which are adjectives, both many and great. Many and great. So accomplishments, that's one of your vocab words. The little idiom res gestae, which literally means stuff done. Stuff that was done. Declines together. Res gestae, rerum gestarum, rebus gestis, res gestas, rebus gestis. Here it's going to be the subject in plural, so and also feminine. So res gestae. Res gestae of this person who is right here. This person right here, so that's going to be this right here, hic haec hoc. Just going to modify person. You can just go ahead and use this as a substantive, at which point it'll just be act like a pronoun, so it could just be the genitive huios. Remember, hic is one of them heteroclats, where the genitive ends in an ius and the dative ends in an I. So that's to it. But the genitive is huios. And it's the same form across all three genders. So huios, huios, and huios. So huios. Person, if you wanted to put the word person, you could probably use homo, hominis, masculine. And the genitive would be hominis, because it's genitive of possession. The accomplishments belong to that person, or this person right here. Huios hominis. Kind of like that. Or you could just say huios. Res gestae huios hominis. Are both many and great. Are, that's the present tense of sum esse fudi futurus, third person plural, because it's the accomplishments, not the person, that's many and great. Ooh, weird. But the accomplishments. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt, so sunt, they are. Res gestae sunt, both this and that, correlative conjunctions, they co-relate to each other. It's just et, and then another et repeated. Et x, et y. Many is an adjective. It's going to be in the nominative case because of the predicate nominative. It's modifying the subject accomplishments, which we said, and you should have written, nominative plural feminine. Many is an adjective, also going to be nominative plural feminine of multus aun, much, plural, many. So multi. Et multi, et great is magnus aun, big, large, great in size or importance. Easy peasy, first and second declension adjective like multus aun right here. So magni, et multi, et magni. It has to be nominative plural feminine to modify the nominative plural feminine res gestae. So something like huius, you can also throw in a hominis, huius res gestae sunt et multi et magni. You can flip that around if you wanted. Et multi et magni sunt res gestae huius hominis. Optime. And at last, denique sententia decima, the 10th sentence. After the first battle line was defeated by the enemy, a great part of the army was captured. Oh, to note. Okay, so we have two verbals here. Was defeated and was captured. A great part of the army was captured is the main clause. That's the independent clause. We cannot get by without this. We need this. We know this is the subordinate clause after the first battle line was defeated by the enemy because it is introduced by the subordinating conjunction after. The temporal conjunction telling us when this action happened in relation to the main clause. So after, that's going to be postquam. Postquam means after. You might think, well, this action happened first, that the first battle line had been defeated by the enemy, and then the great part of the army was captured. But unless it's a repeated action, the Romans tended to put this into the perfect. If it was after the first battle line had repeatedly been defeated by the enemy, and a great part of the army was captured, that's weird. Yeah, I know. Then that would be pluperfect, but let's keep it perfect. So first battle line was defeated. What got defeated? The first battle line did. First being a modifying adjective, it's modifying battle line. First is primus aum. Battle line is acies ei feminine. Fifth declension feminine. It is the subject, so acies, and it's singular. That makes primus aum nominative singular feminine as well. Prima acies, acies prima. Postquam acies prima was defeated, has been defeated. So perfect tense. Keep in mind that it's the battle line that got defeated, so that's feminine. So she, third person singular feminine, perfect passive. She didn't do the defeating this time, sorry, she got defeated. Passive and indicative. To defeat, you got a couple options here. You got supero, which was your go-to for a long time. You also know winco now. So supero, superare, superavi, superatus. We want that fourth principal part, superatus. It's feminine, singular. Great, makes a great battle line. So superata. And then the perfect passive, sum es est, because it's third person singular. So superata est, or est superata. If you go with winco, you'll have winco, wincere, wiki, victus, like victim. So fourth principal part, victus, make it feminine, victa, and then same helping verb, est, victa est victa. So something like postquam acies prima est superata, est victa. Victa est superata est. By the enemy. Okay, personal agent. By whom? By the enemy. That's the agent. That's the one who actually did the defeating. So because the enemy are people, we want the ablative of personal agent, preposition ab. We're going to use the be because the next word starts with an H, like hostis does. The H is almost silent. Hostis masculine. So we want the ablative, ab hostibus. It's plural. Ab hostibus, the enemy. if we're just by an enemy, the first battle line was defeated by an enemy, a single one. Giant of a man strode out by himself onto the field and just wrecked the first battle line with a single swipe of his sword. Now, we have plural, the enemy, so ab hostibus. Postquam acies prima ab hostibus est victa, superata est, something like that. A great part of the army was captured. Okay, so our main verb here is was captured. What got captured? The army. No, it's actually the great part out of the army. It's not the whole army, it's just a part of it. So part is the subject. That's the nominative singular. It's going to be pars partis, feminine, so nominative singular feminine. The adjective great, magna must also be nominative singular feminine. So pars magna, out of the army, of the army. Of is usually a tip-off for genitive. So we have possession, objective, or partitive. Here we have partitive. I mean, this is the clear-cut example of partitive. It's the freaking word part right there. Part of the army, partitive. So it's part of a whole. The whole group is army, small part of it. Genitive. Army is singular, and it's exercitus us masculine. So we want the genitive exercitus. So pars magna exercitus, great part of the army, was captured. Okay, to capture, once again, you got a couple options here. You can use your old favorite standby, occupo, occupare, occupavi, occupatus. Was captured, like was defeated. Third person singular. Keep in mind what got defeated? The part did. So she was feminine, nominative singular feminine. So the fourth principal part has to be nominative singular feminine as well. So occupata. Then the helping verb is going to be the third person singular est, because this is perfect passive. So occupata est, or est occupata. You could also use capio, capere, capi, captus. So it would be capta est. Romans would probably go with capio here. So pars magna exercitus capta est. Postquam prima acies ab hostibus superata est, pars magna exercitus capta est. Optime, very well done. You are now ready to move on to chapter 21's Lectio Latina. Valete omnes.